So we have a guest today, Lily Woll, who's running in the March 2020 election for county supervisor from District 5, which is Rob Brown's district. There was one other candidate I know of, Jessica Jennings Peisker, who was my guest on June 15th. And apparently Rob Brown is not running for re-election, and this time he may actually mean it. So good morning, Lily.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
And thanks for being here today. I appreciate your coming in. Guest. Lily, have you ever been on KPFZ before?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, welcome to KPFZ.
I'm happy to be here.
Huh?
I'm happy to be here.
Stay close to the mic now.
Okay.
Like I said, try to stay about a few inches from it.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you here. Appreciate your coming in. Have you ever been on the radio before?
No.
Okay. So this is a new experience.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure this is going to be the first of many experiences here in the studio, many appearances in the studio, because probably you'll come on my show again, and some of the other hosts will probably invite you too once they've heard about you. As my regular listeners know, I can ask some pretty hardball questions, but that's not what today is about. This is really early in the campaign season with the primary election next March and the runoff, if necessary, in November of 2020. So this is basically a Who is Lily Woll show today. I want to find out who she is and where she's been, what she's done, and why she's running for supervisor. And later, when we get closer to the election, Lily and Jessica and all the other District 5 candidates, I suspect there'll be more, will be invited to be on this show. And then we'll get into policy questions and political views of all the candidates. So let's start out with a real simple question. How old are you?
I'm 37.
37?
Yes.
Okay. And are you registered to vote with a political party?
Yes.
Which one?
Democrat.
Okay. What's your date of birth?
This is personal. Are you going to ask me for my social security number next?
Yeah.
The last 4 digits or the whole thing?
No.
Just you want to know my horoscope sign?
Yeah. No. When were you born?
9/16/81. I'm a Virgo. Woo! It's coming up. If anyone wants to come celebrate with me, I just want to say good morning to Lake County first. Good morning, Lake County.
So you're almost 38. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, almost 38.
Almost 38, because I was thinking you were 38 or 39.
And it feels good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you grew up in Lake County.
Yes, sir.
You were born here?
Yes. Oh, actually, I was born in Ukiah. I was born in Ukiah, and I lived my whole life, grew up my whole life in the same house in Kelseyville.
Ah. Mm-hmm. But were your parents living in Lake County when you were born in Ukiah?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My mom still had the connections to Ukiah, and I was born in Ukiah.
Okay. So your whole childhood you were here?
Yes.
Okay.
In the same house.
And people may know your parents, so what are their names?
My parents' names are Dallas and Teresa Woll.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And they had a business here in Lake County, or they still have a business in Lake County?
No, they no longer have a business. They had Roto-Rooter of Lake County.
Okay. Mm-hmm. For a long time?
For a long time, 30-something years, 35 years.
Okay. So did you graduate from Kelseyville High School?
Actually, no. I graduated. I got my GED.
Oh.
My GED, yeah. My last year of high school, I was an exchange student in Brazil, Fortaleza, Brazil. Woo! And I lived there for my last year. And when I came back, they decided I needed to do more credits or something. So I just went ahead and got my GED.
Okay.
And it was a great experience, actually. I was able to get my GED at the local jail here in Lake County. It's when they had the program. And so I'd go there every day. And alongside the, prisoners, we would study together. And I think it paved my way for my education and the love to teach. And, yeah, it was part of it.
Okay, but you went to Kelseyville High?
Oh, yeah, all the way. I went to Kelseyville Primary, Guard Street School when it was a school, and then Mountain Vista Middle School, and then Kelseyville High School.
Okay.
So I'm in the works.
Instead of doing a senior year in Kelseyville, you went to school in Brazil. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you already know Spanish pretty well at that time?
Well, I had taken 1 or 2 Spanish classes, but they speak Portuguese.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it helped a little bit, but they would they would
Is
say you
language,
can't.
is the language similar?
Yeah, I mean, it's both a romantic language and maybe if you're lucky, you can communicate. I mean, there's definitely this international language that people can communicate with.
Right. So did you learn Portuguese while you were there?
Yes, I did. I learned Portuguese.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what year did you start college?
I started college. Let me see. I started college in probably 2000 or 2001. 2000? That's a good question.
And you went to, so you took a little break between getting your GED in college, or you went right through?
Yeah. Should I tell the story?
Sure.
Okay, this is exciting. Thank you for this opportunity. Usually I don't like to talk about myself or my beginnings, but I'm on the radio right now, so I'm going all out. Woo! Thank you. Excuse me. So, yeah, I came back from Brazil and I started working. I worked at Canocday Harbor Inn as a dishwasher. I worked across the street when the Dutch Treat was here, a coffee shop. I worked in the mornings there, and and I worked at Tacos El Rey over there by Safeway for a while, and so I was working, and I was trying to save some money because I was like, okay, I want to see the world. I want to get out of Lake County and see what's going on. I've been there my whole life except for this moment in Brazil, and I want to see what's going on. And so my mom's friend called me and she said, "Hey, Lily, I'm going to New York and I need help driving across the states." So for my 18th birthday, my mom bought me a ticket to Idaho, Boise, Idaho, and said, "Here you go, Lily." And her friend, Burl, bless her heart, she's passed away. She drove me across in her little Nissan pickup with a huge collection of baseball cards in the back, and we drove all the way to Washington, D.C. And when we got there, I decided to go and stay with a friend of my mom's.
Wait. What happened to Boise, Idaho?
Boise, Idaho. She just picked me up. She just swung by in her little purple Nissan pickup truck and said, "Lily, get in the car. We're going down the highway."
Okay.
And then,
so you drove east.
And then we drove east. We visited all her family, and we stopped here and stopped there, and we drove east, and then we got to Washington, D.C. She stayed in Washington, D.C., and I decided, I'm going to get to New York City. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to visit one of my mom's friends' sisters, one of those down the line. And I ended up, she just gave me an address in the Bronx, and I was like, okay, I'll get there. I had my backpack, and I was trying to get on the subway, and I got lost in the Port Authority bus station for 2.5 hours, went up and down and around, and this.
Could have been 2.5 days, but it was only 2.5 hours.
2.5 days. It was so scary. I was, oh my God. And then finally I got on the right subway train and I got to the right place and she picked me up. And this woman, when she picked me up, she said, "Okay, I normally don't have people visit me. I don't appreciate you coming, but you could stay for 2 days only because of my friend's sister friend, down the line." And so I ended up staying with her for 3 months. And
wow.
She was the woman that encouraged me to study and to go back to school.
How did 2 days turn into 3 months? You hit it off?
We hit it off, and I got a job. I immediately started working. I worked at a supermarket in the Bronx, Key Foods, and I had another job passing out flyers for food.com in the downtown New York area. I loved it. I had a huge chef hat, and I was like, woo!
Okay, so that's how you got to New York, and
yes.
you wound up going to school in New York.
Yeah, I eventually, she said, "Lily, you need to go to school. This is what you need to do." And my experience wasn't so fantastic going to school. And so when she said that, I was like, I'm working and this and that. And she said, "No, you need to go to school." And I said, "Wow, all right, I'll go to school." And I ended up going to Hostos Community College in the South Bronx.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Then you went to City College?
Yeah, and then I transferred after 1.5 years or so. I transferred to City College of New York.
Which is a 4-year.
A 4-year,
school.
University. Mm-hmm.
And you got a degree from City College?
Yeah, I got a degree from City College, international studies, a dual degree in international studies and Spanish. I went from, I don't know about going to school, to, well, let's take extra long and stick around and do another degree. And yeah.
So did you like New York City?
Oh yeah. I love New York City. I love New York City. I have this, and I still have this problem. Well, I was in New York City. Eventually, I got off of it, got away from the problem. But I'd like to, coming from a small town, I like to look people in the eye, say good morning, ask them how they're doing. And I used to come onto the subway and look at the person next to me. And, hey, how are you today? And what's going on? And they're fine. I'm fine. Can I help you? No, I'm just saying hi. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so.
Anyway, okay.
So, yeah, I love New York, but it takes the years off your... I believe it may take years off your life, you know? It's the fast pace, very go, 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 hustle. Made me jagged, but it made me tough, and I'm thankful for the experience. I was there for 6 years.
So when did you come back to Lake County?
After that, I came back in 2006, and...
Wait, what year? So what year did you graduate City College?
I graduated 2006. I was in there for the long haul. Yeah, I was working full time, and meanwhile, I had to move back to Lake County for a year. I had to get a surgery, and
so that was right after college?
No, it was during college. So I had this setback while I was finally got into City College. I was so excited. And they said, you need to have a surgery. And my mom said, come home and I'll take care of you. Bless her heart. And she...
Oh, I see. So while you were in college, you had to come back, have surgery. Then you went back to New York?
Well, and I had the surgery, and a mistake was made during the surgery, and I had to wait to heal and have another surgery, wait to heal, and then I moved back to New York.
Finish your degree.
And I finished my degree.
Okay. And at some point, you went in the Peace Corps, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What year was that, 2009?
Yeah, it was 2009 to 2011.
So what did you do between 2006 and 2009?
So 2006 and 2009, I...
Working?
Yeah,
Playing,
I was working. So
traveling?
2006, I went to Spain for a year. I was an English teacher over there. I worked in a public school, and I was funded by the government of Andalusia of Spain. And then that was 10 months, and then I came back here, and I started working. I had several jobs. I worked as a library. I worked for the literacy program as a bilingual aide, and working in the primary schools with Dolores Arroyo. She's one of my favorites. Just want to say hi. And I'm on the radio. And then... and I worked in the literacy program. I worked as an ESL instructor for the CBEST.
Why don't you tell people what ESL is?
Oh, English as a second language.
Okay.
So there was Rose Geck was working for the Karnataka Unified School District, and she organized a program to support people learning English. They could bring their kids. The kids had tutors where they could study. There was a computer class. There was different levels. I mean, it was an incredible program, so I got to become part of that. And so I was doing that. And
okay, so let's get back to the Peace Corps. So you went in the Peace Corps. What made you go in the Peace Corps?
Okay, so from 2006 to 2009, I was hustling. I had the New York hustle, and I was here in Lake County just getting as much as I could in terms of work and experience. And then I was doing the application for the Peace Corps, and that took a year, the full year. And what was I doing for the Peace Corps? That was your question?
The application process took a year?
A full year, yeah. Full year.
But why did you decide to apply for the Peace Corps?
Oh, because I love to travel. I love to travel. I wanted that experience. And my mom was in Peace Corps as well. She was in the Peace Corps from 67 to 69 in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And all of those ladies that she was in the Peace Corps with, they're still friends. They're about to celebrate their 55th, I believe, anniversary of friendship.
Wow, that's something. So you spent 2 years in the Peace Corps.
Yes, 2 years.
And you were where were you?
In Guyana, South America.
Okay, and what did you do there?
In Guyana, South America, I had the best best time. I was involved mostly with education. So I taught I taught in the high school a life skills class. I had a youth group with young. I had a youth group. I did, and then I worked with Conservation International, and I worked with the youth there about the importance of the forest. And by the way, I have to say that the Amazon burning right now is one of the saddest, because I had the opportunity while I was in Guyana to see the forest, to live in the forest, to see how the indigenous people there take care of their forest, and now to hear that it's just burning.
That's in Brazil?
That's in Brazil, which borders Guyana, and they share
I've read
forest.
that 20% of our oxygen comes from that rainforest, too.
Yeah, those are our lungs.
This is serious. This is serious stuff.
This is very serious. Yeah. This is very serious.
Okay, so you're in the Peace Corps. You also do some work in HIV/AIDS education.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was very entertaining. It's unfortunately at that time in the Western Hemisphere, it had the second rate of HIV/AIDS in the Western Hemisphere. I believe after Haiti, and I did HIV/AIDS awareness, and one of the opportunities I had there was to go into the Army barracks, the Army base, and to work with the soldiers there, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity. I believe that it was helpful for them and for me as well to really understand how the culture works.
Yeah. You did some work in forest conservation, too?
Yes, with Conservation International. Mm-hmm.
Doing what, actually?
It was working with the local primary school, for example, to organize events about how the importance of the forest and how we need to continue to conserve it. And but at the same time, it was me learning a lot. It wasn't just, we need to do this and that. I learned from them, just incredible amounts.
So this is Ron Green. This is the Philadelphia Lawyer Show, and we are with Lily Woll, who's running for supervisor in District 5. Okay, Lakeport has a lot to do today. So that's Taste of Lakeport from 5 to 10 with Funky Dozen later in the evening. And the wonderful Nancy Wright on sax at the Soparee starting at 7. That's where I'm headed tonight. And there's also other stuff going on today. There's the Cobb Mountain Blackberry Cobbler Festival this afternoon from 12 to 5.
That's where I'm heading.
That's where you're headed?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm probably going to go there, too. Make it a day. And there's also stuff going on at Canocti Vista tonight. Canocti Vista Casino has a reggae concert. So as always, there's a lot to do in Lake County on the weekends. And again, this is Ron Green. This is the Philadelphia Lawyer Show, and we're in the studio with
Lily Woll.
Yeah,
candidate for supervisor.
Lily,
good morning, everyone.
Lily Woll. Is it Lily?
Yeah, one Lily.
Yeah, is that your given name or is that a nickname?
That's my given name.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mother was Lillian. That was close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom calls me. She said Lillian was too long. We'll just say Lily and Lily the dance hall girl.
Some people call my mother Lily.
Yeah. Did she like it?
I don't know. Anyway, let's go over your employment a little bit. You now have your current job is what?
My current job, I will start working at Kelseyville High School on Monday.
Okay.
The school opens on September 4th.
What are you going to do there?
Be a Spanish and ELD teacher, English language development.
Okay. So you'll be teaching Spanish this time, not English. You've taught Spanish and you've taught English, right?
Yes.
But this time you're teaching Spanish.
I'm teaching Spanish and ESL, English as a second language, both.
Okay, and the what did you say?
They call it ELD, English Language Development.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And
it's a different beast. I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
Actually, I'm extra nervous about it.
but you've also taught English to those to whom it was a second language, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you...
Or second or third or fourth language. Excuse me.
Okay. And you first started doing that in Spain, actually, in 2006. You mentioned that, huh?
Yeah, teaching English.
You were teaching
Yes.
English to Spanish-speaking people
Yep.
in Spain.
And at a high school,
Huh.
El Palo, Instituto del El Palo.
And you've worked in Canactai Unified School District for a couple years, teaching English to those that
Adults.
use it as a second language. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I see on your resume you owned a store in Mexico. What was that all about?
Oh yeah. So when I returned from the Peace Corps in Guyana, I spent a year and a half or so in Toyagua Arriba. Woo! Mexico! Viva Mexico! In Toyagua Arriba, Nochislan, Zacatecas. It was just a lovely place, a tiny, tiny little town, and I sold fruits and vegetables there. I had a little store, and I would go. First, I went to Aguas Calientes, the big city of Aguas Calientes, to pick up all my fruits and vegetables. Then I realized, well, that's just too many fruits and vegetables. And then I would go to a smaller town. Oh, darn it, the name is... Anyways, and I would pick up my fruits and vegetables, and I would work, and we had a cow, so we would sell milk, and at 5:30 in the morning, people would knock on the door. Okay, I want my milk, and they would come late in the evening. And when I need to sort all of my fruits and vegetables again, I would take what I had, and I'd drive around to the little communities around town, and I would sell it out of my car. Fruta, verdura, aquí. And then, it was just a wonderful experience.
Okay. So I think I missed your degree. So you have a bachelor's degree from City College in New York, New York City, and then you have 2 other degrees there, huh?
Yes.
Okay. What are your
No,
other
not from there. I have my other degrees are from Sonoma State University, and I think that started in 2015.
Right. What are your degrees?
Education with a concentration in TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages.
That's a master's degree.
That's a master's degree, master's of arts, and then a master's of education actually, and then a degree in Spanish, a master's degree in Spanish.
Okay, where did your interest in Spanish come from?
So I have to say that this. My interest in Spanish came from a family, the Arredondos, that lived on the corner of Bell Hill and Staley. Their son George and their son George and his wife just opened a store recently, at a restaurant, Carmelita's Kitchen. But I have to remember my friend Aurora was my friend. That was his older sister. And when I was 7 or 8, their father, Jorge, told me once, Lily, let's go to Mexico. We go for a month. And I remember running home at 7 years old. Mom, I want to go to Mexico with this family. When she said, oh, okay. I didn't get to go, and that's where it really started, I believe. It started from the community and the roots. And then I had that opportunity to go to Brazil, where I learned Portuguese, and then when I got to college, I said, Spanish. I know Portuguese. I could learn Spanish, and I made it my major, and I found it to be one of the most difficult subjects to study. I was just blown away about how difficult it was, but I loved it. I loved the opportunity to be able to connect with an entire population, and culture, and so I just kept studying it. I just kept at it. Okay. I love it, and every day I'm learning.
Okay, and you actually taught some Spanish at Sonoma State for a while?
Yeah, I taught Spanish at Sonoma State, and then I also taught it through Mendocino College at the college, and also at Upper Lake High School, because they don't have a language teacher.
And you most recently taught at Woodland Community College, right?
Yeah, I taught at Woodland Community College. I taught ESL, and I taught the HiSET preparation exam, high school equivalency exam, in Spanish and English. Well, I was there at Woodland Community College and ESL, and unfortunately, they they offered to teach Spanish this semester, but I'm a bit busy with the campaigning and teaching, being new there at Kelseyville High School.
So are you going to be teaching full-time at Kelseyville?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Full-time. Ugh.
When are you going to find time to campaign?
Oh, I want to squeeze it in, and I'm going to do it. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult, but
other than the Peace Corps, have you ever been involved in politics or community activism or community organizer other than the Peace Corps?
Community organizing. When I moved after Spain, in that period before the Peace Corps, I started a program, an ESL program here in the Big Valley. I started at the Grange, and it was an ESL free for students with the child care, and that was...
Have you actually filed your notice of intent form with the county to run for supervisor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when did you file that?
I believe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you set up your campaign committee with the Fair Political Practices Commission, the FPPC?
No.
Okay. You're going to get that done soon?
You
have to do that if you're going to raise money.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, but you haven't done that yet?
No.
Okay. Do you have a campaign treasurer?
I'm looking into that.
Okay. You have a campaign manager?
Yes.
Who's that?
This is my Miss Riley, Kathleen Riley. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say that again.
Kathleen Riley.
Okay. Is she your friend?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us why you're running. Why did you decide to run for supervisor?
So for various reasons, where do I start? Supervisor. First of all, I love Lake County. I always find myself coming back here. I leave, I come back. I was born and raised here. I was born in Ukiah, raised here my whole life, and I love Lake County. I grew up on the lake, sailing and swimming in the lake. My favorite place in the world is Highland Springs, and I'd like to continue to see this place thrive. I'd like to see tourism here. I'd like to see the young people stay or get educated and come back because we don't have a bachelor's program, or get the use one of the local colleges here, study at the local colleges here, and to come back because we really have a lot to offer. We're so we have a lot of opportunity here, I believe, for people. And there's a lot to do, like you said, on the weekends. And I believe in the potential of this, the continuing potential of this place, and what it could continue to become. Yeah, and I believe, and I want to make a change. I have a lot of energy, and I want to see.
We can see you have a lot of energy.
Yeah. Does it overflow? Are you feeling the energy, or is it making you tired?
It's pretty obvious. You're a high energy person. I think the listening audience can probably sense that too.
Yeah, good.
But
good. And
what do you want to accomplish? I think you've sort of covered it. What else do you want to accomplish if you become the supervisor?
Well, most importantly is important to me is the constituents and what they want to see happen, what their issues are, and I plan to reach out to them in a number of ways, and really listen to what their worries are and what their concerns are. But I believe that there's possibilities to bring more money into this. Into the economy, into the government, so we could start working on building a workforce, especially the workforce for the in the courthouse there, and bringing more money in industry, and trying to figure out, for example, the issue with cannabis and marijuana, and then bring in the tourism, and there's some issues that are going to be coming down the chute, and they're going to be really tough for the county to deal with. And I want to look into. I want to see what other counties are doing, rural areas, and I want to be really clear about what our options here. what our options are for Lake County, and to look into all of the options and do the research necessary to understand the issue and what we can do to fix it.
Do you see the cannabis industry growing in Lake County?
Definitely.
Is it a good thing?
Sure.
Okay. You want to give out some contact information, like your phone number, email, website, Facebook, whatever you want. This is your chance to do it.
This is it?
This is
Right
it.
now? Hey, everybody, this is Lily Woll, candidate for Lake County Supervisor District 5. My phone number is, please feel free to call, reach out. My phone number is 707-367-9107. My Gmail, I have an email account, Woll for Supervisor, Woll, W-O-L-L, for Supervisor at gmail.com. Visit me on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say. Please reach out to me.
How do people find you on Facebook?
They find me Facebook. They find Woll for Supervisor. Same way.
Okay. Is that FOR or is it the number 4?
FOR.
FOR. So if they Google Woll, W-O-L, or if they look on Facebook and they search for Woll, W-O-L-L, for supervisor, they'll find you on Facebook.
Yeah, it should come up.
Okay. And why don't you give your Gmail out again?
It's Woll for Supervisor.
Same thing again.
Yeah.
FOR.
FOR.
For supervisor.
WOLLFOR Supervisor. SUPERVISOR at gmail.com.
Okay. Do you have a website?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
You're going to set one up?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Linda?
Well, have you attended any of the KBA meetings? The Kelseyville Business Association is very strong. I'm from Kelseyville. I love it. And, so connecting with the businesses, have you done that?
Yes. Yeah, I recently joined one of their mixer meetings.
Yes.
The KBA, and it's a powerful group.
It is.
There were a lot of people there, and so I do. I went to one of those meetings, and I also wanted to start working on the Dia de la Independencia.
Oh, yeah.
The or celebration that we'll have in Kelseyville September 15th. Right. And I started working with that committee, however I can help. And I would like it to be, my plan is to work with the local businesses and set up a time and date with those businesses where I can invite people to come and talk about their grievances or their the positive or negative about Lake County, how they feel, what I need to be doing specifically according to the constituents. Yeah. Okay. So the KBA is strong.
It is.
And we have a good time in Kelseyville.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for asking, Linda.
Okay. This is Ron Green, and this is the Philadelphia Lawyer Show. This is KPFZ 88.1 FM, and we're in the studio with District 5 Supervisorial Candidate Lily Woll. And the lines are open, 263-3435. I think we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning. It's Dallas. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Dallas.
Thanks for having Lily on this morning. Wow, you have a lot of energy, Lily. This is great. I'm not in your constituency. I can't vote for you.
Gosh,
but I'm always curious to know what candidates are, where they're coming from.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that might be a little controversial, but I'm going to find out where you stand. Many people in this county, and even in your district, are very uncomfortable with the town being named after a pedophile. And there hasn't been any real movement that I've seen to make changes to the name. And I'm wondering, what is your position on that? You love the town you came from, you grew up in. How would you feel if it had a different name? And would you be a proponent of making that change?
So you're talking
I'd like to hear what
you're
your
talking about
position would be.
renaming Kelseyville.
Renaming the town that's at the base of Mount Konocti.
Because Kelseyville was named after a terrible person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that it could be very beneficial, really, to have a name that's a little bit more indigenous, like Konocti, for example, something like that. Anyway, I'll take my answer over the air. I want to hear what your position is, Lily.
Okay. Do you want to comment on that?
Hi, good morning, Dallas. Yeah, I'll comment on that. And thank you for asking. You know, that has been a concern for people and for some people absolutely love the name. They're like, Kelseyville, why would we change anything? Why would we do this, when that? You know, it's history. And it goes back to the same argument of why would we take down the statues of in North Carolina or so on. And it would definitely have to be a community debate. We would have to get the input of Big Valley, the indigenous population here, and we'd have to. It would have to be debated, and if it comes down to it, let's change it. Let's change the name of the town if it has to be. Let's do it, because I understand that the history of Kelsey was not a good one. No, he was bad news. I understand that. Thank you for asking, Dallas. You have my dad's name, or he has your name.
And we have
Thank
another
you.
caller.
So do you think it should be changed or not? Do you have a position?
I have I think the whole history is horrible. And does the name change? It would have to be debated. We'd have to, and if we're going to change it to an indigenous name, we have to reach out to all the communities and really say, well, what should the name be?
Okay.
Right? Should it be Canocti, or should it not? Do we deserve to have that name?
Okay. We have another caller?
Yes, you do.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
I've got an appointment in 2 minutes. Adrian, can you hang in for a minute? Okay, awesome. Thank you. This is Cassie from the Lake County Law Library. I'm one of your constituents, at least Rob Brown's, for a long time. And he was a good friend of my husband's. They had a lot in common, especially their love of buffaloes. But that's not my question. My question is about homelessness, and I will take it off the air. So you got a couple of questions on your board.
What's your question?
About homelessness.
What is your question specifically?
No, that's my question. What is your stand on homelessness?
Awesome,
Lake County to solve the problem.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Thanks, Ron. Bye.
Thank you, Kathy, for calling and asking that question. That is one of my concerns as well, Kathy, is the homelessness. We have one of the highest arrest rates. Did that come out in the newspaper recently? We don't have enough services here, or we could bring money back into Lake County and provide more services for drug rehabilitation, mental health issues. There is work to be done in Lake County, certainly. Thank you, Kathy.
And you have a caller.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, has any of this business about Kelsey been the result of a conviction in court?
What is that?
Well, has he been found to be a pedophile or whatever in court? Has he been accused?
I don't know.
The
history of him is pretty obvious.
No, it's
pretty
not.
Clear. Pretty
it's
clear.
History. It's all rumor. It's all. None of it is established.
Do you have
as
a
far as
serious?
I know.
Do you have a serious question, or are you just hassling?
That's a serious question.
Okay. Do you want to try to answer that?
I'm getting very tired of having Democrats call everybody a racist, and this is just getting very tiresome.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your call. Thank you for your comment.
Well, thank you for your not answer.
Okay.
And do you have
Do
another?
you want to comment on that at all?
Well, I mean, I appreciate his opinion, and I would hope that it would come with more substantial evidence. And the history of Kelsey is history, but it is factual as well.
Okay.
You have
Do we
a
have
caller.
any other callers?
Yes,
Caller, you're on the air.
I have an opinion and I have a question. Which do you want first?
Woo! Okay, we got options here.
Go ahead.
The question.
All right. My question is, which party are you in? Or do you
I'm the
represent any
Democrat.
party?
Yeah, she's a Democrat. She answered that earlier on. What's your opinion you wanted to say?
My opinion about changing the name of Kelseyville, you're dealing with one, name recognition. There's multi layers on that one.
That's right.
But also, it's been in everybody knows the name Kelseyville. But also, I've heard that Kville is often used to refer to it. So, in my opinion, shifting it from Kelseyville because of the bad history, and definitely it is recorded history, to Kville would satisfy both I believe. Because K could also be Canocdyville. But the issue you're dealing with is name recognition. And what are you going to do about suddenly changing the name, and then everyone goes, where's Canocdyville?
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Thank you very much for calling. Thanks for listening, and thanks for calling
Thank
in.
you for calling. I appreciate your opinion.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, the calls keep coming in. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Ron. Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Francis.
Hey, Francis. I saw you the other day at the post office.
Right. Don't tell me the town.
Yeah.
I want to suggest that we call the town One Love. One Love, California.
Woo!
And it should be easy to find on the map.
That's right. And there sure is a lot of love in California. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah. Good fortune to you, Lily.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
All right, thanks for calling. We have any other callers here? Okay, the lines are still open for a couple of minutes. This is Ron Green. This is the Philadelphia Lawyer Show. We are KPFZ 88.1 FM. We're in the studio with Lily Woll, who's running for supervisor in District 5. The call-in number is 263-3435, and we do have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
I'm really glad that the Kelseyville thing came back up again, and I know we have a caller who's very defensive about, any implication that white people did anything bad to anyone in this county. If you look up the Kelsey brothers, their crimes are legion. They were responsible for dozens, if not, scores of people dying in horrible ways. They were Charles Manson level criminals. And that's not just opinion. They were in legal trouble. They came here to escape murder charges in the county in Missouri where they were from. And they were just plain evil and did nothing but bad things the whole time they were alive. And it's crazy that we have a town named after them. People in Germany don't name their towns Hitlerville or Geringville. And, Missouri doesn't have a town called Mansonville after their most famous residents. It's just ridiculous to have a town named after those people. Thank you.
Thank you for your strong opinion. Do we have any other callers
Yes,
here?
we do.
Okay, we have another caller. The phones are going crazy today. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Ron.
Good morning.
Hey, this morning's conversation, I think, underscores one of the basic problems with Lake County, in that there's been an inordinate amount of attention paid to an issue that will have absolutely no impact on the lives of average people, regardless of the outcome. And I'm talking about renaming Kelseyville.
Right.
I could care less about what people decide. If people in Kelseyville want to vote to change the name, that's fine.
You got about 30 seconds, Phil.
Okay, but the point is, there's a lot of serious problems in this county, and other than Cassie bringing up the homelessness issue, no one's wanted to talk about any of these things. And I think that underscores, again, why this county is such a mess. And I'd really like to hear some people coming up in the process that have some actual ideas about how to fix these things, instead of doing it like our president, just showing up and saying, I'll figure it out when I get there.
That's awesome. I would like to hear about your issues with Lake County, the issues that you think Lake County have and what it...
Okay, well, the first one right now is the county doesn't have enough money in it. So we have to figure out how to organize our county government in a way that it is
Phil.
not running a deficit.
Phil,
Okay.
we're gonna have to wrap this so we can get out of here. Phil, I apologize. Thanks for calling.
Phil, I'd like to talk to you in the future. Thank you.
So this is KPFZ 88.1 FM in Lakeport, California. Listener-supported community radio. This is Ron Green. You've been listening to the Philadelphia Lawyer Show. This show repeats Monday at 10 a.m. If it's Saturday, stay tuned for the Old Okie Show with Ken and Scott. If it's Monday, stay tuned for Dwayne and his Folk and Beyond music show. Thanks to everyone for tuning in KPFZ this morning. Special thanks to my guest, Lily Woll, who's running for supervisor in District 5. Thanks to the callers. Thanks to Linda Kelly for working the board today.